many more bones would you crush?
Now I'm the bad guy.
She wouldn't even harm a fly.
That a primal scream is the only satisfying release.
So, like, is Daredevil canon or nah? I'm confused. Welcome back to Villain Review, and today we are looking at Kingpin. I think we're only gonna do the Daredevil stuff, cause who knows if Hawkeye Fisk is even the same person. Big Willy is a character praised by many. People saying this version of the character is one of the best things to come out of the amazing show Daredevil. Is it clear that Fisk is a good villain, or are things a little hazy? Who knows? Let's break him down and find out. Before he was the player king of New York City, Wilson Fisk was just a normal kid growing up in the 70s, although his childhood was very different from that of Eric Foreman.
Bacon.
Born to his parents Bill and Marlene, Fisk would grow up watching his mom stress over bills, both the currency and her husband, cause yeah, this guy's crazy. Planning on gaining wealth and status through getting elected to the New York District Council, Bill realized that getting elected into office isn't as easy as just putting your face on some signs and being a terrible dad. Taking out a lot of his frustrations on Marlene and Wilson, Fisk was quite the abusive father, hitting his wife, forcing Wilson to drink alcohol as like a child, and a lot of other really terrible stuff. As bad as he was, he'd often find spare time to give his son messed up life advice and point his morality in a direction that, let's just say, it's not ideal. Living with his dad for such a long time, Wilson was exposed at an early age to abusive relationships, terrible life advice, crime, and all this other bad stuff. The climax of Wilson's childhood was when his dad instructed Wilson to stare at a wall, thinking about the kind of man he wanted to be. While staring at the wall, Wilson's parents would get into an argument, resulting in his father becoming violent with his mom. Tired of hearing his mom being abused, the young Wilson would take a hammer to his father's head, killing him in an act of anger and protection for his mom. Honestly, this origin is fantastic. The origin perfectly sets up Fisk as a character, and every action we see him do as an adult can all be traced back to what we see in his youth. The overall motive for Fisk in this series is to make Hell's Kitchen, to make New York just a better place, and when your frame of reference is a childhood like this, yeah, it makes complete sense why you'd want to see it improve. You also see that with his relationship with his mom, he's not just a monster, and that he really does care for her, and that love carries over for Vanessa. He's just a kid who had an awful childhood, skewed lessons of power and respect, and a love for those close to him so strong he'd do anything for them. It's an origin that's unique too. It doesn't just stop at abusive father. Instead, it shows us exactly how his dad made him into the person we see in the show. I'll talk about it a little more later, but I love how the origin of Fisk perfectly mirrors that of Matt and his dad. Matt's dad teaches him lessons about standing up for yourself and your own morals and never giving up, while Fisk learns that if someone disrespects you, you beat the crap out of them with a baseball bat. Both are examples of how parenting styles can affect children and how sometimes bad people are just products of a bad environment.
I wanted to make this city something better than it is.
Oh, good lord, there's a lot to talk about here. Wilson Fisk is by far one of the most complex characters in all of Marvel's live-action content. Right underneath Yellow Jacket, of course, because that guy's a legend. At his core, Fisk is a man that wants to clean up New York because of the trauma he endured as a child. When I say clean up, I don't mean like he's out there with the broom, spooking away pigeons or anything like that. Rather, he wants to control New York and shape it into the perfect vision he has for it. He wants to control the cops, the government, the media, probably Broadway, I think. I mean, that makes sense, and just have the entire city under his control. I think Fisk as a character can easily be summed up by the phrase, "the road to hell is paved with good intentions." In his mind, I think he really does believe that he's making New York better. But just like a lot of good villains, the way he goes about it, it's all kinds of messed up. He kills, he manipulates, he commits tons of crime, all in the name of making the city better. And that's just one side of Fisk. The other side we need to talk about is his relationship with his girlfriend turned wife, Vanessa. Wepa. Especially in season 3 of Daredevil, yes, he wants to save New York, but more urgently, he wants to be with the love of his life. One of the best parts about Fisk is how much he loves Vanessa. The love he has for her, it's just infectious. All throughout the show, he does some awful awful things, but when you see the pain in his eyes about how much he misses her, it's hard not to feel just a little bad for the guy. In general, Fisk is a character who, despite doing terrible things, always feels human, and he always feels to some extent sympathetic. I know, he kills plenty, but when I think about the kid with an abusive father, it's just really sad to see the man he ended up becoming. I feel like in a different world, under healthier circumstances, Fisk would be a man who actually could make a big difference in the world, but because of his skewed view of power from his dad, morality just doesn't hit the same way with him as it does for everyone else. He's the hero of his own story, but the villain of everyone else's. Also, the dude is incredibly intimidating. I know Marvel has Thanos and that one dude who steals donuts or something like that, but I think it's safe to say Fisk is the scariest villain of them all. Not because he's gonna end the world, but fighting him and resisting, it just feels so helpless. For Matt, Karen, and Kermit the Frog, there's times where I'm like, I don't know, Maddie, maybe you can't beat him. And then Matt, like literally in the show, he's like, I don't know, man, I don't think I can beat him. The dude just has everyone under his control. Sorry, Beyonce, you're wrong. Girls don't run the world. Wilson Fisk does. Hi, can I get a 3-piece? No coleslaw, though, because I'm not a monster.
And what kind of drink will you be having today?
Fruit punch?
Yes, a good punch is exactly what you deserve.
Come on, honey, you're almost there. Push. Congratulations, sir. It's a girl.
I know you snitched, Dad. Mr. Fisk sends his regards.
Hi, this is Steven speaking.
I'm not a religious man, but I've seen a couple of episodes of VeggieTales.
What? I'm sorry, who is this?
I realize now I am not Bob the tomato, nor Larry the cucumber, but I am the vegan who eats the veggies in order to obtain a nice, healthy diet.
Sure. Oh, wait, hold on. Someone's at my door. Toto? Toto, where have you been? Damn it, Sydney. I'm gonna say it. Will you marry me? Oh, of course I will. Oh, really? You're not gonna say, Mr. Fisk says hello and then shoot me? Why would I say that? Because that's kind of how the whole sketch has been going. People are getting shot. Are you not paying attention? Wait, what skit? Daniel, what are you talking about? Mr. Fisk says hello. Also, Kingpin is scary up close, too. The man is gigantic and just tosses people like they're potatoes. Do people toss potatoes? I mean, hot potato? I don't know. I bet someone does. Daredevil he's a stud, right? He's got more senses than a laundromat. And yet somehow it's still scary when he fights Fisk. You know, like when your little brother is just wailing on you and you're like, I haven't even used any of my chakra yet, you little maggot. It feels like that. Also, Vincent D'Onofrio is fantastic, and it makes complete sense why everyone and their abuela was asking, just begging Master Feige to bring him back. D'Onofrio plays those intimidating sides so well, but he's also able to capture the quieter and more fragile side of the character. He plays a man who's in love incredibly well, but even better is the way he plays a raging mob boss who's gonna crush you to death with a car door.
That I am the ill intent who set upon the traveler on a road that he should not have been on.
I rewatched a ton of Fisk scenes to prepare for this, and honestly, every single one is a banger. The performance, the writing, the costumes, everything is on point with Fisk, and just the show in general. I could talk about a lot of Kingpin scenes, but we don't have time for that. The video it's already pretty long. Some of my favorite scenes are whenever we see Fisk fight. Daredevil, Bullseye, Fisk, all of them have such a unique style of combat that it's refreshing when we see Fisk fight them. Bullseye's out here like just throwing yo-yos and shit at you, and then Fisk starts running at you like that scary tractor from Cars. That's a really scary tractor. It's insane. The fight in season 1 is solid, but it's not nearly as good as the fight at the end of season 3. Just seeing these three dudes go at it after a season of build-up is fantastic, and there's so much emotion in this fight. You got the two Simp Kings, well, I mean, sort of three, if you count Elektra, okay. But Fisk has a reason to fight here. We see the love for Vanessa shine through his love for just fighting like a final boss with way too much HP. As awesome as these fights are, I also love the scenes when he's a little more quiet and reserved. When he's talking about Vanessa, we see him at his most vulnerable. We get a peek into a side of Fisk that really nobody else sees. Sometimes I feel like I took my friend's phone, who's super quiet, and now I'm just reading all of his sappy texts like, oh my gosh, I never would have known. These scenes are great because they humanize him, and we get more of a glimpse into why he's doing what he's doing. Lastly, the scenes where he's just going crazy because the man is a villain, those are great. Sometimes we need a reminder that the dude's not playing around. And speaking of not playing around, the dude does some messed up stuff. Some of it's not direct, okay, but some of it, well, a lot of it, it really is. Season 1, he smashes this dude's head in just for interrupting his date. The scene is graphic, barbaric, and it sets Fisk up as a dude who you don't want to interrupt. He could just snap at any moment. Honestly, when I was writing this, I was going to talk about all the people who he orders the deaths of, but there's just too many to name. It's not even funny. The big highlights are the Bulletin in Season 3, a bunch of side characters, the stuff with Punisher in Season 2. Wow, is this dude like to kill people? Back in the day, a few minutes ago, when I said this guy is sympathetic, right when he does something you think is human, he does something crazy after.
Vanessa, my love, today I gift you a $2,000 Chili's gift card.
Oh, okay, see, that's nice. That's not that bad. He's romantic.
It's my friend!
Hey,
Oh, okay, that's just, okay, yeah, let's move on. He might have a few human moments, but damn it if this guy is not horrible to those who oppose him. Poor Nadim, man, he can't catch a break. The main trio, they're always getting screwed with. The dude just does awful things. He's scary, and wow, does it make him a great villain.
Quiet!
Wilson Fisk is the complete package. His origin is unique, it sets up and explains who he is, and it makes us understand his goals and motive throughout the entire show. He's as intimidating as a villain can be, and while he's plenty physically scary, it's his presence in the show of Daredevil that makes him feel like a villain who just can't be beat. Matt is great at what he does, but Fisk pushes him to new limits that make him grow as a character in his pursuit of taking him down. He is a perfect parallel to Matt, and he also has sides to him that make him feel human, and while he does awful things, we know exactly why. He's a victim of abuse who unknowingly becomes the abuser. But deep down, we see that kid who has an intense love for those around him and his city. I'm gonna give Wilson Fisk a 9. Damn it, did I really just leave my phone on? What the heck? So, okay, I got it. Hello?
Is this Mr. J Films?
Yeah, can I ask who this is?
Let's just say I'm not a religious man, but I have seen a few episodes of...
Oh, it's Wilson Fisk, okay.
Damn it. Yes, well, anyways, I heard you only gave me a 9 out of 10 for villain review.
I mean, yeah, but look, that's a good score, okay? You could have done a lot worse. You're just not as good as, like, I don't know, my ex-girlfriend.
Well, unless you want to be 10 out of 10 on Dead review, I'd ask you to please reconsider.
Yeah, I misspoke. Yeah, Fisk, he gets a 10 out of 10. Yeah, that's what I meant. I misspoke. Typo.
it's a painting. That's what I'm interested in.
Thanks again for watching, and let me know what you think of Wilson Fisk in the comments below. Who the heck should I review next? I don't know, man. You let me know. Thanks again for watching. New villain review every Monday. I'll see you next time.
Speak her name again! Go ahead!